Hi, my name is Michael Cuellar, and I'm a prevention specialist for the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Council for the Concho Valley. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of our parenting tools that we use, and it's the acronym Superhero. And basically, as a role model, as a parent, if you have kids in your life in general, you are the first line of defense, or basically like Captain America's shield, when it comes to defending your children from bad choices such as, sex, drugs, violence, and other negative things that could possibly harm their futures. To get started, the first letter in the acronym is obviously S, and S stands for support your kids. And I know things may get hectic with life, jobs, work, extracurricular activities, them going to school, but always find time to at least support your kids, let them know that you're there for them, let them know that you believe in them and that you're wishing the best for them. I know that may seem like something that may come naturally or maybe just immediately known, but it's not. Children need to know that you're there for them. They need to know that you're in their corner and that you have their back, especially whenever negative things start to come into their lives and they need somebody to turn to. The next one is U, and that is utilize support and resources. So just like Batman needed Robin, the Avengers needed each other, there's a lot of times when parents may need to ask for help. There's different places you can get that from. You can get that from your friends, you can get that from your parents if they're still in your life, your children's grandparents. Those are always a great help. And there's other resources and hotlines that we have on the ADACC website. There's hotlines that are even out of the state of Texas or aren't associated with ADACC, but there's always help out there. So don't be afraid to look for help, especially if you feel like you may be too busy or you may be overwhelmed or just something you don't have any idea about. Don't be afraid to ask. So P stands for promote good behavior. So this just means that if you notice your child is doing something right, then let them know that they're doing that good behavior. Make sure that they understand that, hey, I appreciate you doing this, and especially when I knew you could have been doing this. Maybe even if they decide to do changes, maybe they're struggling in school, maybe last report card they got a C in the class and this time it went up to a B. That's a big noticeable change for them. They may not realize it yet, but you as a parent need to promote that good behavior and hopefully to increase that motivation so that they continue to move forward in those good behaviors. The next one, E, stands for empowering your child. Allow your child to take on small tasks that may help them use the tools that you've given them so far to see if they make the right decisions. And this could be something as minor as I'm trusting you to be home alone for a couple of hours. I'm trusting you, to mow the lawn while I'm away from home. I'm trusting you to cook a little sides for dinner. So things like that definitely help use the skills that your child knows, and it's a good way to let them know that there are consequences for their actions, both negative and positive. The R in superhero stands for recognizing changes. So no one knows your child as well as you do. So you're going to be the first one to realize if they're not eating as like they normally do, if they're not getting enough sleep, if they seem like something's bothering them whenever they come back from school. Those are things that you definitely need to recognize and not immediately think that by recognizing them, they need to be disciplined and put back into place. But be sure to communicate that with your child to let them know that that you care, that you're aware of these things that they're going on, and maybe there's a lot of things happening. And when they get to talk to you about it, then y'all can tackle the problem together. The H in superhero stands for honor individuality. So whenever our children come into our lives, we may already have outlooks and guidelines that we want them to follow to reach a certain goal that we have for them. But when your children get to a certain age, be sure to realize that they may not have the same goals as you, and you need to honor that. If you would really want your child to be a football star, but they have more of a draw towards basketball or not towards sports at all and want to follow a different profession or a different path, then support that. They need your support. They're trying to build confidence in a new ability and a new skill. You may not fully understand it, you may not fully grasp it, but at least know that you support them into learning more about it. The E in superhero stands for establish boundaries. Establishing boundaries is a key part, but it's also very different from one family to another. Some families have different forms of values, different forms of communicating, and different forms of discipline. So be sure that your child understands that and understands that this is what you're doing to build the values that you want them to have in the future. When it comes to establishing boundaries, you may be able to establish different boundaries than what you had growing up. And that's up to you as the adult in the family to make sure that your child understands why these boundaries are established. Okay, so the R in superhero means rewarding achievements. And rewarding achievements doesn't have to be something big and extravagant. It doesn't have to be a big trophy or a gold medal. It could be something really small, a small gesture, such as a pat on the back, or simply telling them that you noticed that they did something really well. For instance, if they did something really well on their report card, or you saw that they did some chores without being told, maybe they could stay up a little bit later on the weekends, or play a game a little bit longer than usual, or have a friend come over, go to a friend's house, things like that. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something great, but just that simple, I guess, recognition that they're doing something well helps to boost their confidence and helps them do something more, helps them want to do something bigger. So last but not least is O, and O stands for observing friendships. So as your child gets older, this may be a little bit more hectic when they get to know more people and have a little bit more freedoms, but it's always important to know who your child is hanging out with. If they have a certain friend group and they're starting to shift into another one, maybe you want to take note of who's in that friend group, who their parents are like, where they live at, and what their tendencies are. Because these social behaviors that your child has in their friend group, those are the peers that they're going to want to emulate. You are who you hang out with. So just if you see any red flags, try to talk to your child about it from an understanding standpoint instead of an attacking and disciplinary standpoint. So that was our superhero parenting tool. If you have any questions, please feel free to message us at any of our social media accounts down below. And we hope that you like and share this video. Be greatly appreciated, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.